Hey, what's up, man? Live and
Up, dude?
direct from a 1997 Volkswagen Track.
It's the preferred
Uh,
studio. It's
that's
the
it.
sound,
I've
sound comes really
got a
crisp.
nice breeze. My dog used to hang out with me. It's whatever.
Oh man, Merrill, dude, how you doing, brother?
Good. Man, it's been a whirlwind since we've seen each other, brother. How you been?
Doing good, man. Hammer 41 Leatherworks is fucking crushing it, dude. I
Yes,
see your
sir.
hats everywhere, dude. Everyone's wearing them.
Man, thank you very
Fucking
much.
rad, man. It's good to see another entrepreneur in the fucking trenches making it happen.
Trying, bro, trying. It's been a blast, dude. I've met some incredible people, especially from like your guys' community.
Yeah,
Um, it's been just eye-opening, and the relationships and friendships I've made and met have been amazing. So it's been
yeah.
nothing short of a blessing to be able to take this off.
Dude, it's that area, man. I always tell people it's not Seventh Group, it's not Eglin, it's not Hurlburt Field, it's not Duke Field. It's an entire community. It's and let's not forget Pensacola. You guys get honorable mention. You're right there. But that entire community, really, it's like fucking,
Go.
fucking seaman. You're the worst. But
At least
everybody there,
the
man.
POD.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody in that area, man. It's like you have such wonderful people, wonderful communities. Everybody supports each other. I can't think of the amount of races or fundraiser events that are always mutually supporting, man. Just because the people in Northwest Florida are just fucking awesome, dude. And I think,
It's amazing, man. It's been a pretty cool to see how it links so well up with South Florida and McDill,
yeah,
being SOCOM down there.
yeah,
And
dude,
I mean, it's just crazy. The AFSOC and special operations community around here is so big and fluid that,
yeah,
I mean, Holly by the Sea, where I live in Navarre, it's the second largest like homing community, I think, in Florida or something like that,
yeah,
or the nation or some shit. It's crazy, dude. There's like
yeah.
50,000 patriots, expatriates that live here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back there myself, man. I'm trying to get back to the old Shalimar area. I
Come
miss my
on,
house.
dog.
We keep telling Big Air Force, like, hey, like,
Yeah.
can you just move us right back? Can you make it
Come
happen?
on. Yeah, dude. Where you guys at now?
We're up in Alabama for the time being. Wife,
Okay.
she's in big officer school up here, doing big
Ooh,
things. Yeah,
right on, right on. Yeah, I was never
yeah.
privy to that being a sweaty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, dude. It's good to see you make it through your journey because you had it rough. We met when we were both going through our healing journey, not quite
Yes,
on
sir.
the backside, just like at the very beginning, man. And dude, dude, so many people I still keep in touch with. Like one of the craziest things is we have this community also like interlaps when you're in a moment of crisis. Everybody's going to the same hospitals.
That's for sure. Right? I know. Checking them into the same hotels, you know what I mean? Like
But
Grippy
proof's in the
Socks
pudding.
Motel. Yeah.
You do the work, you can get better. And
Hey,
apparently
that's it.
you make some good entrepreneurs when you're on the backside of healing.
I think it's a diversion for your mind, you know what I mean? Trying to feel that sense
Yeah.
of purpose again.
Dude, it's so fucking true, man. Like you got to dive into something. I tell people there's this idea that once you get out, like you're just gonna sit at home, watch Netflix, chill the fuck out, fucking do puzzles, and maybe. But the reality is, like, you're somebody of purpose. You're somebody that had a mission, and it suits you to go after something again, to put your
Yeah.
sights on something. And the more impossible it may seem, I think the better. Sometimes, like this past week, I don't think it was the best, but fuck, it's a lot of sleepless nights where you're just like, fuck, maybe the factory
Fuck.
job seems like a
Dude,
better idea.
I know, dude. I'm gonna work at the pick and pull, you know what I mean? The fucking yank car parts and shit. Fuck. It's been a
Oh
rough one,
man,
man. It's been a journey though, like you said. And
yeah,
I feel blessed that I got to meet you at the time I did. And that was a kind of the beginning of my journey as far as being away from the military's guidance in my
yeah,
journey. That was the first time I stepped away and said I need more help, and did the volunteer route,
yeah,
um, before I, because I was gonna get directed route, and they were about to denyff me and take me from
Yeah.
flying and all these other things that come up right when you're about to retire, and I didn't need to happen. So I went voluntarily, and then that's when I met you, buddy. And
Yeah.
I wasn't about the group thing at all, as you remember.
Yeah.
The first week, I was like, "What the fuck am I doing, dude?" Uh, but I tell you what, man, those weeks there, I learned so much, and just watching how you handled that whole environment was kind of like a template for me to build from. You know what I mean? Because I trusted
Yeah.
you from the beginning, and there from even from afar. And I was like, all right, dude, I got to see how this dude's taking a journey, so then I can kind of emulate it at least till I get on my own, my own level.
Yeah.
So then that was very helpful, man. And one thing I noticed that you talked about a lot was, besides your shoes, was your your run on them Okas or whatever.
Yeah, dude, that was early on when I was still in my
That's
orthopedic
right.
shoes, man.
Bro, you
Get
just
my
talk them
special
shits up
shoes.
all the time. But I remember you used to always talk about tools and like how you kept building your tool belt and like listening to things. And I remember you told me another time off kind of topic, to try to pick out a couple of things that pertain to how I could build my own tool set. And I did, and I ended up finding those, and inadvertently searching for the tools that worked for me. I found how to find my center in different opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of like looking for wins, looking for the guidance to find the win. So then it also keeps me motivated moving forward instead of sitting there going like, all right, where's my win at? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what was me or some other dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to fall victim to like the pity train early on. Like
For
so
sure,
easy.
dude.
Even now, man, like I always tell people like this is your ability to build back. If you're currently going through it and you're getting help, like this is your chance to start it all off and like clean slate. And there's gonna be some people that make you want to feel like, oh, it's okay, like just wallow in it. It's like, no, dude, no, move forward. You
No,
know,
no,
take that
dude.
medicine, like understand, like, hey, I need to have some grace. I need to give myself some
That's
leeway, but
that's
like,
huge, dude.
yeah,
That is huge. I never knew that one either. How to
yeah.
how to reapplaud yourself, but without like, fakely getting an award from the squadron you work in. But like, how to honestly appreciate your own
Yeah.
acceleration or something of that nature.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah, let's freaking dive into that, man. Let's talk about let's go to your journey. It's like I think you not only a lot of people glamorize a lot of the jobs, but they don't look
yes,
at
sir.
what it takes to do the job and what it the toll it takes, right? Like what it happens to the
Yeah,
individual. And I think your career field is a prime example
for
of
sure.
like you look how sexy it could be to be in that sky fortress,
Dude,
fucking just laying down all the fucking
all
hell
the
and
hate,
pain.
all the hate, dude, all of it.
So take us back there, man. Take us
But
to the what that mission is like.
you know, flying around in the gunship is like, and I tell my friends jokingly, but in a fucking actual, is that I live my life kind of like a 14-year-old kid. I might have said this on your last fucking podcast, dude. Like there's some kid up there behind these eyeballs, and he's just like he's a big fucking robot, dude. And that's how I feel I run my life, dude. And I just kind of like things that entice me when I didn't have, or before I learned what the world is really about, are kind of re-enticing me again. So they get me happy to kind of live life, you know what I mean? And that's been a big deal considering, like you said, the job and what it is. And it is sexy, it's like cool, man. You fly around in a gunship and do some work. But
Yeah.
that's like just like anything and any job that you guys, I mean, you guys are called cool guys. You know what I mean? There's a reason for that shit. But it's also what you see and talk about is what, like this much, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can sit here and be like, man, I had a crazy ass career with a bunch of weird ass shoots and we shot a hospital and da 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 da. And all of a sudden it's like that was this much. But the rest of it, or the aftermath and effects, that's what gets left out, you know what I mean? And I do
Yeah.
believe, just like with you guys' specialties, is that it takes a special breed. It takes somebody with or without faith, it doesn't matter. But like I believe that, I'm in this position because there would have been, if not me, somebody else who might not have been able to handle some of those things that we do,
Yeah.
when you're blasting a dude nailing a goat or body tossing or some shit like that, dude. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
some people can't handle that, dude. And we ended up running into that a few times in the plane over a Mish, and you got a new kid on there who's tense during the gunfight or call for fire action, and then he freezes during a gun malfunction or something, and like I've had that, and then I got reprimanded when I got home because I threw the kid against the block of ammo. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's all part of it. It's all sexy and stuff, but you know, it
Yeah.
does take a toll on you, man. I had 13 in my career, 13 deployments. Gunship wise, I had 8, um, or 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know,
it's
man.
it's
I
still
don't know,
impactful,
man.
man. It's still
Yeah.
impactful. We now more than ever, and you see it online, and it's quickly become this fascination with kill cam. Before, it was just something that was reserved for us after mission, kill cam
Yes,
review.
for sure, for
Now
sure,
it's
for sure,
everywhere. Every morning I'm
dude. Oh
seeing
my, Kill TV
every
everywhere.
breakdown everywhere, everywhere. And for a split second, I would imagine some people are like, "Oh my fucking god, this is a real human being getting a fucking grenade dropped on him from a fucking drone." Like, but then it gets desensitized. Then it gets turned
Thousand
into
percent.
memes. It gets turned into humor, and I'm
Yes,
like, dude, imagine being in that fucking bird, getting that call because you're on comms, you're hearing that fucking ground
thousand
force
percent.
commander
Yeah,
calling for your crew to come on station and fucking lay down some hate to save some American lives.
that's it,
That's
dude.
fucking different, dude. That's fucking
It
different.
is.
You're
It's
seeing
the mind
not
frame.
only not only are you watching the engagement with enemy combatant, but if it's a heated firefight, now you have Americans and you're watching
Yes.
over them. You're watching
I
over them.
mean,
Those pilots are talking, they're engaging. And I've talked to so many people, they're like, man, like, yeah, my life's not in danger. They can't engage me. But watching down and seeing those Americans, those
dude.
soft troops
Oh
in
my
so much
gosh,
danger and in so much in that life or
bro.
death. And even though that fucking commander is keeping his shit calm and cool, you're like, fuck,
Yeah,
dude, they're in a world of
that's
hurt.
it. When we
Yeah.
sat in a plane, the U model, I flew in the AC-130 U model, right? So we had a pretty large crew. It was
Yeah.
13, and then downrange we did something else, but um, basically flew with 13 dudes, and 2 of them were our sensor operators, right? 2 of the other enlisted guys. 'Cause I think we had 5 enlisted on there. Wait, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 enlisted on there. And the 2 sensor operators sit behind their TVs. You know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
TV and IR, and they got 4 screens there. So I was just a gun monkey in the back, and I can hear everything. And that's one reason why I always elected to take those Afghanistan trips, man, to always go
Yeah.
back, because I'd never wanted to go to Iraq, Syria, because that mission's so different. It's such a different typeset mission, dude. And between the SAMs and the this and the everything that can
Yeah.
reach out and touch you, bro. And I'm not even trying to be on that level. Don't get me wrong.
I don't want a
It's,
fair fight.
bro, it's I mean, I get it, dude. It's part of the thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It is what it is. Like if
Yeah.
they would have been like, hey, you're going to Iraq, I'd have been like, fucking Roger on, whatever. So fucking uh I I liked being over there for that aspect of familiarity
Yeah.
and shit like that. So when I'm listening on comms and we got Team Freak, like you said, and listening to the sensors, talk to the pilot, even away from comms, going out of the plane, building that, painting the picture for the pilots or anyone else listening in the plane, you essentially bring yourself to that moment, just like a
Yeah.
video game, dude. It's so crazy these days how the video games emulate it, if in like a different perceptual aspect.
Bro,
So I can sit
Call of
there.
Call of Duty, fucking what was it? Modern Warfare 2?
Come on,
that
dude.
that entire
Come,
mission.
dude. They're
You
just
know the
they're
one I'm
just
talking
short of
about.
letting out the words like for chicks and kids. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're just short of labeling that out there. I heard that
Yeah.
on a meme the other day talking about
Yeah.
mams and no, I didn't want to say it first, so there you go. You did.
Fuck 'em.
We're gonna wipe that out later, dude. Yeah, but no shit, man. But even getting back
Yeah.
into the plane, just putting yourself into that situation, dude, that mind frame is so crazy that you have to just, I mean, and just like you, so it's just a different perception of the same mission. It's
Yeah.
like you you have to take away family. You have to take away anything back home. You know what I mean? So I would
Yeah.
do my diligence in my first 5 days downrange, when you had to work out the shits and you got to get the food accumulated in your body. You got to find the gym again, tan and laundry. And then in that time too, I would try to nonchalantly forget my family, which
Hmm.
crucify me in the comments, whatever. But I
No,
would do
it's
that.
everybody. Everybody has to figure out what they
You have
need
to
in order
have
to
what it is
operate.
because my
Yeah.
family, my two boys were they are everything in my orchestra, right? So I had their names tatted on the inside of my arm because I roll my sleeves up when I operate those guns. Just so if I needed something, I could look down, cool, red, and then not think about back home again.
Yeah.
Because then it just becomes a distraction, dude. And I never wanted to have that variable, whether it would have or not. I just never wanted to give myself that opportunity. And that is just like in my mental health journey, alleviating stress, drama, and other things like that. Not allowing a second thought, another option, which conduct a variable that you don't need.
Yeah.
All that. See that big ass circle I did there?
I liked it.
Whew,
Full circle
wear me
moment.
out. God damn. It's good high. I'm joking.
Nah,
I'm in
man.
the car. I'm not driving.
Everybody has to
Steering wheel's
figure out
hanging
what they
on.
need. Yeah. I know, but my wife and I were both deployed. My last deployment, and we did not talk on a constant. Like when we talked, it was very precise to the point. Like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's like, hey, she's on red side, so it made it a lot easier. She does, and she
Yes.
knows like she's
Yes.
literally so
Oh,
she's
okay.
red on, and
Shit.
she sees what's going on downrange.
Dude, that's so rad, dude.
It was
That's got
it
to be a
made it
sense of comfort
communication.
for her
Yeah, it made it very easy for me because
to not
when she
communicate.
sees, yeah, she sees what's going on in country in AO. She knows what air. She's the one that's seeing literally what's coming across in the
Mm-hmm.
corridors, so she knows where I'm going out. We don't have to talk. We don't have to make this grand gesture of like, oh man, dance around words. Like no, she knows what's
Right.
going on. It's like, hey, I'm safe. I'm good. And
Yeah,
then
dude.
it's like,
That's
all
so
right.
rad.
But there's a lot of people that have that. They for them it's easier to have that constant talking, constant engagement. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it was very much like memes. I love you. I miss you. Can't wait to be home. And then very short, very brief. Because, dude, for 6 to 7 months in those rotations, it's fucking hit, go, 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 hard, hard, hard. And
Right.
I don't have the time to like even like other family members or close friends. It was like you might get a meme from me. you may get a thumbs up, but you don't have time. And I think everybody has their own way of dealing with stress with the job when you're deployed, man. So everybody has to find that balance, what works for them, what doesn't. Like I know some guys didn't even talk to their family. Like it was just
Yeah,
a known
dude.
thing. It
Like
was
I
just like,
said, it
hey,
takes a certain person, dude. You
yeah,
know, I I have friends that are got their kids coming up now. They're about the same age to join, and they're like, hey, talk to Mr. Ace and see what he says or whatever. And I'm like,
yeah,
hey, man, what do you want to do? I want to be a da da da. Right on, dude. Or how about this? Because you're not really sure. Why don't you just go be finance or something or services and
yeah,
do 4 years and then make your choice, and get a degree or do something because you can have you can make your rank and work finance and make the same amount of money as I do breaking balls and going crazy downrange. I didn't learn that. Like an idiot. Like
yeah.
I thought the more I did, the more I'd get paid. And guess what?
No, no. But there is something
Uh,
to be said about having an adventure, man. That's why, like,
hey, yes,
I never
yes,
want to
yes.
take away from my kids' idea. And in fact, I don't want them to stay home. I don't. Everybody says, "Oh, your mind will change." It's like, no. And I say this not to be an asshole or be a jerk to anybody to stay in their hometown. You don't have to serve to be a good person. You don't have to be in
Nope.
the military to be a great man, to be a great provider. You do not have to do that. You
Okay.
can be a great human being, never served a day in life. What I want my kids to understand is you need adventure. You need to go do something grand. Get away from the
That's right.
town you were brought up in. Get away
Yeah.
from the normal environment you were raised. I don't care if they take a trip abroad and bike abroad or something. Go have an adventure early on in life. It'll give you perspective. It'll give you an understanding of how the world works. And then when you come back to this country, you'll realize how good we have it. You'll understand that the American way of life is something that should be cherished, and that American dream should be fought for. And maybe along the way, you'll realize that maybe I've had it good, and I owe it to this country. I owe it to this country to serve. Maybe, or maybe not. I just think that I want my kids to grow up thinking that the world needs to be explored. You need to go see something. And if you don't, that's cool. That's on you. If you played it safe and you stayed home, hey, that's nothing wrong with that. I just think that we as human beings, we long for going after the big and the impossible. I really think it's within us. I really think that's part of the American dream too, is to get out there and go do brave, big things. And you don't do that by becoming the banker in the hometown you grew up in. No shade to you, Mr. Banking Man.
Careful, here it comes. Here it comes.
Fuck you.
Yeah, oh, dude, you're done. There you fucking chirps.
Yeah. And that's for guys or girls. Like I really want my daughter to go out there and have an adventure, man. Go do crazy shit. I just think that life's too short.
I agree. I agree. I got see, mine are 17 and 14 now. So next year I'll have a freshman and a senior. And the oldest, who is absolutely in love with cars now, both of them actually.
Yeah.
They're doing car work, and that's just a dream as a dad, obviously, to have a couple, whatever you got, a boy and a girl, whatever you got, to have them be passionate is something that helps you mentally.
Yeah.
And you know, they've been right along in the seat through my journey, my mental health recuperation, because a lot of this all started at the end of my first divorce. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, that was rough.
That was a banger, dude. And the thing was, is I didn't know the tools at the time. I didn't have a lot of that shit. I was a year out from retiring when I got divorced, man.
Yeah.
And so it was like 19 years marriage almost, you know. And I don't regret. I don't look back and say I wish I would have, you know. I had two beautiful kids out of it, and you know, life, and I got to experience a lot of shit. So
yeah,
I always thought it was pertinent for the boys to see how I recouped from some of those low times. Even recently, you know, life's thrown another curveball, and I wanted to make sure that the boys saw that I can land on my feet correctly, and you know, morally.
Yeah.
And stay focused and just do what I need to do. You know, I became a Facebook marketplace wizard. Wizard. Dude, man, I've been on this shit, dude.
Sometimes less is more, man. Sometimes less is more, dude. Like,
it is, bro.
It's a good exercise.
I had, like, nothing. I've got in this place, and I've been redoing everything. Thankfully, there's a lot of people that want to give away stuff too, so that helps out. And I'm not above free shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's been really good, and it's been good to help me find new centers. Yeah. Finding things, and this has really, really, really strengthened my spiritual recovery also. So I've been
that's
very,
good to
very
hear.
Grateful for that, and I'm still a Lutheran. You know what I mean? So you can't follow me too hard there, guy. Yeah.
We'll bring you over to the Catholic side soon.
Yeah, I'm just sort of putting another sign on your door and busting out. I'm out of here.
You know, one thing I find remarkable too about your story is, like, I don't have a lot of friends that had a strong father figure, and in knowing your story and seeing how strong your father was raising his boys, it's a beautiful thing to be able to see you navigating the same waters with the same strength, and it not coming from a place of like, I've never seen this done before. It's like, no, you have a role model. You have your father, and being able to see you go through that journey is fucking really awesome, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that a lot.
Because I know how tight and how close you guys are, you, your brother, and your father. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about life. Like, everything happens for a reason. And then having experience, like, dude, I know what it takes to be a good dad. I know what it takes to be a good man. And I don't have to worry about that. I had the prime example growing up, and come lose, you know, whatever comes my way, like, I'm going to navigate that. Do you feel like
That's right.
you've been able to tap into that and that spirit.
I do, man. I do wholeheartedly, and it's actually was echoed by my dad saying that, once he refound his faith, found his faith and his strength, and that it helped him navigate a lot of things in his just mental recovery from whatever he was dealing with at the time.
Yeah.
So I took that to heart, and I remember we had a conversation, this is a while ago, and not really pertinent to anything, but I told him that I felt a certain way, that maybe I felt like second rate in a situation.
Hmm.
And he texted me back and he said, "You're the only one that can make yourself feel that way." And that's all he wrote. "I love you, cowboy." And that was it. That was it. And I sat there and I looked at that text and I was like, this motherfucker, man. Because as soon as I read it, bro, like my hair stood up and it was just like, I got
Dude.
smacked by himself, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it made
You,
so much sense that
yeah.
no shit. No shit. It's like when people feel they've been offended by something I said.
Yeah.
Like, only you can make yourself feel that way,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, don't
And
get me wrong. There's some flagrant shit to say to people, but you know what I mean?
that's
But
like,
I think
that's,
it's really helped my spiritual journey, like
yeah.
because I know my dad has done that, and I really have tried to emulate a lot of things. When I finally realized how to become a man, not even
Mm,
just a father, because that's a whole nother fucking process. Becoming a man, dude, really?
yeah.
But one thing my dad did, he did really well with me was teach me how to be a gentleman. He took the time to show me the tie tying and cufflinks and being fitted for a suit and standing up and shaking people's hands and looking them in the eyes and XYZ, right?
Yeah.
So I really tried to make that a point to the boys, um, teaching them how to be a gentleman and a good person because I believe it's necessary in your character. Because if you have a strong character, man, you can help your own self with recovery,
Yep.
right? Because then you don't have to doubt shit. You don't have to worry about what people's really thinking you. Hey, if you're not out telling lies, you don't got to remember what the fuck he said.
Right.
So that leaves stress and anxiety out of it, which is those are all day
Yeah.
long. I'm dodging those fucking guys.
Yeah.
And so those are the kinds of things that I found through my journey on recovery mentally, which will be ever long. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. Um, but having a strong father there, I am extremely happy that I was able to pull a lot of things and kind of send that down to the kiddos. But
Yeah.
one thing I will say is that as much as the boys are into cars and they're doing these things, I send my dad updates, and he's like, "Man, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about." He was not a mechanic, bro. That dude had like one bucket of tools in the house and shit. Oh man, I'll tell you what, he's a
Everything got
hockey
fixed
player,
with the same
motherfucker. Yeah,
hammer.
bro. Yeah, yeah. And then I got that for Christmas years later, dude. You know, times were rough for a little while.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
important too, though. You have to
yeah,
understand, like, very few men have like, they're like the complete masters at everything, man. Like,
yeah,
you
that's right.
can only take so much, man. You can only be like that great. There are some exceptions. There are some fucking dudes out there that just mastered fucking everything, and more power to
Good
you,
on them.
motherfuckers.
They're
But
more role models for us, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, dude. You master you master a handful of things. You're really good at those, and then you have to commit yourself to learn. That's the one thing, though.
Mhm.
You have to commit
Sure.
yourself to learn. Be
Oh
willing to learn.
yes,
Yeah,
dude. That's been one of the most fun things, the funnest, funnier, whatever, funnest things that I've been doing since I retired was learning
yeah,
and then relearning how to learn, and building relationships and XYZ, but in a
yeah,
different mental space. That's been cool, man. And then my sons are smart little whips, so the one teaches me everything about wars of the past and every airplane that's been in the Air Force thing and wants to be just a Ranger and XYZ. And
yeah.
then my other one teaches me everything in the world about AP courses that I don't understand and stuff about his Lexus. You know what I mean? So he's rolling in a Yakuza 97 LS 400. You know what
Damn,
I mean? Yeah,
damn.
dude. But that's ever broken. That's what I'm saying. Shit, last night we replaced crank pulleys. But
Oh,
those are the things that we get to share, man, and I get to learn from them. And another good thing, catching up with my faith again, has been, at night I'm starting to do my self-reflections, making
yeah,
sure, asking myself, hey, were you a good dude today? Did you fucking slide eye somebody? Why? or whatever,
Yeah.
and check your boxes. And that's been nice to do. And they've been joining me at night.
Oh,
Sometimes stay up a
dude.
little later than some nights, but then they'll ask me a question and they'll say, "Hey, Dad, what about this?" And the oldest now going into being a senior and looking at college life, knowing that he's getting that free 99 stuff, that going to be a Gator probably, and chapter 36, right? Is it chapter 36 or
I think so.
35?
Yeah.
What's that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that $1,500 a month or whatever,
Yeah.
because I'm a retard, dude. Sorry, no offense to anybody. Leave me out. Don't fire me for that.
Dude, don't
Government
worry.
said so on paper.
Don't worry. It's okay. Vast majority of
Um,
the audience is retarded.
let's do it. To my people. Yeah.
They're just like
Anyway,
us.
so
They're just like us.
he asked me about finances the other day. So I thought this is, what a better time than when
Yeah.
I'm redoing a lot of my finances, a power bill or a shitter bill or something. I'm opening my books up, not my debt, but my
Yeah.
books as far as the house in general, growing upness, as he's becoming a senior this year. So he needs to know these kind of things. You know what I mean? And he actually just recently made a purchase. He ordered a car online from Japan.
Oh shit.
Yeah. An Alteza. So basically that Lexus IS300s business that we know here in the States, he ordered the Japanesey one, all
Yeah.
right side drive and whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's only
Yeah.
got 50,000 miles and he paid like $7,800, right? So he did the right thing, man. He's like, "All right, Dad, what do I got to do?" And I'm like, XYZ, laid out a couple
Yeah.
options and then what kind of road and COAs for everything. He always says, "Dad, I got 2 COAs for this." And I'm like, "Oh, good job, kiddo." You know what I mean? These other kids are like, "What's a COA?" I'm like, "Shut up." You know, fucking
Fool.
idiot. Yeah, these kids know everything, man.
Oh man.
And but yeah, so he's doing that. He learned how to take out a personal loan versus a car loan, and how he's working at the Thai Hut restaurant here in Navarre,
Oh.
banging Thai restaurant around. Trust me. Anyway, not a plug, shameless
Yeah.
plug.
Actually, I
But
know that
he worked.
restaurant. It's
Yeah,
pretty damn
Chuck,
good.
Chuck, and he's this pretty about 6 foot, white boy with long hair, and he makes his tips, dude. He does pretty good there. He comes back flashing his checks to me. I'm like, bro, you make more than I do. Shut up. I'm gonna start out the cooking again just to pay him rent, dude. Coming from him. So
Oh
anyway, we go
man.
through these applications of like, hey buddy, you're coming up. When do you have it paid off? And he's like, I want to do it before my senior year, so I don't have a car payment. So that's his plan right now, is to kind of buckle down for the summer,
Yeah.
and for him to ask the questions and then say, um, what should I do? And then ask for my opinion. That I'm ever grateful for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because that
Absolutely,
means
man.
he trusts some decisions that I've made in the past, or life or something. I don't know. Or
No,
maybe he's
it's
contact high.
wait, you have something that a lot of
Check that out.
fathers dream of, right? Like, especially like if you don't have the time, if you didn't have the time, if you had a kid while you were still active duty, and that relationship is strained, you have something that is, I mean, you got to cherish it. I know you do, but having a kid that's that old, already on the cusp of like being on his own, being a man, having to take care of himself by himself, but he's engaging with you, he's talking with you, asking for your input, like planning, helping, like,
Hmm.
Dad, I want you involved in this. That's fucking awesome. Because what we
Yeah,
don't
dude.
see, like, we never see that in the culture. We never see that on TV or in movies. There's always a pissed off
Right.
teenager, the dad that's trying to,
Yeah.
be relatable,
Yeah.
and I fucking
Or
hate you,
everything's
Dad.
everything's about this broken family and like special operations security, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, dude. I applaud the recent upgrade of suicide awareness. I'm glad it's
Yeah.
not just this 22 yank thing that was going on for a while. I'm glad it's bolstered into something what it is now, and I like to believe in that kind of stuff because
Yeah.
I've seen some of the benefits from that throughout the community. But you got a lot of this persona of the area and these dads that they did it to stay away from the family and this and that,
Yeah.
and here's a full circle tie back in into it's what the people don't see, but they see the sexy job or the asshole guy who deploys 15 times, and all he cared about was this and this. Now he's got tattoos and he's an asshole. So now he's divorced again. Now he doesn't get to see his kids, whatever. But that
Yeah.
is a very, very common persona or perception from the outside, right? For this
Yep.
area. So to be able to have that, and I hear it echoed from some of my buddies too, is having that bond, if you will, and that spiritual togetherness, even as it's growing between the three of us.
Yeah.
Um, it's been pretty awesome, and I feel very fortunate that we're not fitting into that stigmata, because a lot of these guys, it's like, why don't you just ask him, dude? Is he
Yeah.
a good dude? Because I'm sure he's just short of jumping off the fucking bridge. You know what I mean? He gets to see his kids 20% of the time, and it's not even his fault. I got taken to the cleaners my first divorce, because one thing I had going against me is I was still active duty in the fourth, and they were still on alert status. So I was still viable for what, this 4 to 7 hour launch, right, or whatever it is, and they always knew that. So if I had 50%, if I had anything more of time with the kids, then he could be gone and this and that. Well, you're right. So then I had to barter
Yeah.
and get the house, or equity add it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like every other dude. So,
Yeah.
but I did get 50% of the time, and that's why the rest of it is just whatever. It'll
Yeah.
pass, because it's gonna work out.
Absolutely, man. Like you have something that so many guys don't have the opportunity, and that's being a present father, being a dad that's able to be there with the boys,
Yeah,
be able to raise them, be able to like have those moments of guidance. Like so many of our dads
yeah,
in this community completely get removed from the equation because of the job, because a judge looks at
yeah.
them and says, your service to our nation, while it's honorable and while I commend
Right.
you, and they
But
say this, while I commend you for your service, your children are better suited with a parent that's more stable. So your wife's going to
they're
become the
on
prime.
meth.
Yeah,
But don't worry
but
about
that's
that.
okay. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
Put that over
She's
there.
getting help. And it's so
Yeah.
shitty that the default is the wife, the spouse. It's never, hey, it's better for this child to have a father in their life. We have to make it something that they have just as much access to their father as they have access to their mother. And that has to be the priority. Being able to give the child both parents. Like, and I've seen friends miss out on their children because they get a divorce and the wife's like, well, I got a better opportunity in North Carolina, so
Right.
we're moving.
Right.
It's like, fuck, dude. And it destroys people. It breaks hearts. It breaks wills. Like,
I've seen it a whole bunch of times in our community. I had a buddy who, his wife, from what I gather, so don't crucify me, anyone who hears this, is that his old lady yanked his kids and kind of conned him into saying, I'm leaving, going back home to another state, somewhere around like Missouri, somewhere.
yeah,
And I'll be back. And then obviously he's like, all right, cool. Not thinking like she ain't coming back for 4 fucking years. So
yeah,
he had to sit and ride his deployments back to back, because it was a time of fighting, dudes, when we could still hunt and all that kind of stuff.
yep,
And dude, he's just couldn't go see his kids because of our deployment schedule. Couldn't do this, or if he did, he's on. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a million frontier miles right now from hopping up there every weekend, dog. This dude will
yeah,
jump up there because he's a good dad. You know what I'm saying? And then when the divorce and all that crap happened, bro, however it came out, it just didn't work out well. He even got one of those humanitarian type assignments, and they took him out of our community and moved him over closer to his area in a different job set.
hmm,
He was supposed to just ride the time out, retire, be there with his family, even buy the ex, because by then it's whatever. He's got
yeah,
a brand new lady, and she is amazing for him, and he's thriving. And then the Air Force is like, hey, hold up.
yeah,
Dude, they give him an assignment back to gunships, dude. After he's like 4 years of a mental recovery, being up there with this new lady, building a new family.
yeah,
Hey, we want you back in gunships for numbers. Numbers? He's like, I'm not going to fly. I'm crazy. And they're
yeah,
like, well, right now you're not. So go back to school. And he's like, fuck. They're like, or you can get out. And he's like, well, I'm like 3 years short.
yeah,
So, and he, dude, he was, this guy I'm talking about was one of the number one, the outstanding airman of the years, the 1208 Lies
yeah.
for the Air Force, the only gunner ever. So I'm not going to give his name out, but that pretty much did it.
You can research it. You can Google
Sorry, homie.
it.
You know we love you, brother.
His name is Burt Macklin. Great guy.
Yes. Yeah. My name actually is Richard Swells.
But yeah, that shit it happens so often. So many
Uh,
guys. My favorite is a guy is finally close to retirement with kids in high school. Kids are about to, in those awkward teenage years where your friends, your peer groups mean everything to you. Sophomore,
yes.
junior, senior years in high school, where your children deserve to have some sort of stability. And then Big Army's like, you're just about to retire. You're 2 years away. How about this?
How
You
how
go
about,
back to
I was just
brag.
gonna say that. How about this, dude?
How about this? We uproot your family for one last PCS all the way back to
Basic
brag.
preference though, if you stay in.
Yeah. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? My wife's gonna
The
divorce me.
brag, right, dude?
She
Yeah.
just got a brand. She just got a job. She's been waiting her entire life to get. My
I
kids
just
are,
built a house for her.
and they're like, well, you can
I
always
want
do a
the
geo
fucking
bachelor.
GTA.
So then the
God
guy
damn it,
ends up going to brag, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 5 other
dog.
dudes, eating top ramen, just fucking away from his family. Yeah. Fun
Yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah. Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain is walls, man.
Guys like
You
Jason,
know what
pull
I
up.
mean? God damn.
Oh yeah.
I got some buddies going through some divorces right now, and in our
Yeah.
community, and even a friend of mine who's outside of our community going through one that's just taken forever, and that and alone, I
Yeah.
think plays mental detrimental health to some of these guys because they're also trying to rebuild, but this is still hanging over their head. Not even if the relationship's toxic. I'm just saying in general.
Yep.
I got another guy from my community who's going through a divorce and had an altercation with his soon-to-be ex-wife that had to do with um, firearm
Ugh.
and without getting into it, basically was like trying to end his life in a sense. That's me dancing around it.
Yeah.
So the thing of it is he's still being taken to the cleaners because there's been no conviction
Yeah.
because of processes. So now this dude who's already dealing with mental struggles, bro, like we have some bangers, like in the garage type thing with your bro. Oh, dog, we have some bangers, and I love this dude to death, and it sucks, and I feel for him immensely because he still has this hanging on, and it'll keep
Yeah.
getting drug out, and he has to forfeit this money or XYZ and monitor that where he'll. How do
Yeah.
you work on mental recovery with that kind of shit going on?
Yeah.
So let's bring that back into the things that people don't see. They see the shiny medals and the
Yeah.
fucking parades and the flyovers and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it. You know what I mean?
It's so fucked the way these things fall apart, and then there's hardly, and I get it. Historically, there's been lots of times where the spouse was, suffering through some horrendous sort of situations, but it's almost like we then stop taking into account what the service member's going through. We stop focusing on, and rather than trying to help both people and ensure both parties are mutually supported, we just over and hyper focus on the one that doesn't serve. So you know what? You'll be fine. We can get you a DFAC card. We can get you a dining facility card. We can get you into barracks. Fuck what you got going on. We're going to focus all our efforts on this side of the family. It's like, dude, you can't do that. You cannot do that. I've seen it so many times where it's, the vindictive stuff I've seen play out so brutally. It's like, I'm going to fucking destroy your career. I'm going to destroy you and everything about you. And it's
Like,
like,
whoa.
and it's on text messages, it's on social media. It's like, hey, is anybody reading this shit? Is anybody going to look
Right.
at this and say, hey, maybe
Dude.
homeboy needs somebody in his corner helping him out? And it's like,
Yeah.
we don't have family, we don't have advocacy that looks at both sides and tries to get to the bottom of it. It's just, hey, it's easier. Let's press the easy button. Only
Yeah.
take care of the non-service member and make sure that person gets everything they need. And we wonder why guys give up and they go do something
Right.
really drastic.
That's right.
And the data shows it. It's there. It's sadly, I've seen it happen. I've seen guys lose their shit. And turn a situation that could have easily been fixed if people were willing to look at both sides of the story. And then
I think so too, man. I think so too. I think that, and maybe I'm a little biased, and I'll take it, and I'll take whatever chirps I get for this, but I think that it is weighed heavily on the non-members, reward. Like, I did 20 years and 15 days, right? And my ex-wife gets half of my pension because I was married to her for 20 years. Do I have a problem with it? I think it sucks. Obviously, I have to give up half my money. I don't think it's right because I don't think there's a sense of earning there. I don't think there was like a competition of how she earned it versus how I earned it. I think is a direct correlation to the time that I forgave for my service, right?
Yeah.
So I have a problem with that in the sense that I have to give it up for that reason just because she was married to me. I also have a problem with paying alimony, and paying that. So here you go for anyone who sees this, any of my customers out there, the guys, those dudes, if you could ask Mr. Trump, can we get something out there that makes it like either they get half of your pension or alimony, but not both?
Not
Because I
both.
tell you what, right now, I'm like right here, dude, like, right?
I'm trying to fucking breathe.
Yeah, and I even got a contracting gig, and I'm still like, fuck, I'm in a So
Yeah.
and that's not a woe with me by any means, please.
No, it's a reality of
So
how
it is a reality of it.
unfair the situation is. It's, dude. And
I wish I could. But DeSantis did change it to where, because I got struck with alimony for life, bro. Yeah.
How?
Because
Alimony for life?
And hey, 3 stipulations though. She gets remarried, financially supported, or dies.
Fuck, dude. Hey, let's open up a Tinder file, a profile for her. Let's get this woman on a date.
We need some sugar daddies out there. Come on, boys. The kids are grown. You got to worry about them.
It's the brand new one for Security Halt.
Hey,
we are offering a primo dating experience. We will pay for the first 10 dates. Wherever you go. We will pay for them. We will.
So DeSantis said he passed the thing where now it could be like relooked at to where it's a percentage of, which is pretty rad. So that it's not like faux laugh.
Yeah.
But I don't really have the dollars to retain an attorney and be like, hey, can you adjust my shit real quick? I'm still in poverty, bro. I make like 23.2 a year.
Just be like paper. Just constantly bringing people by the house. Hey, how's it going? This is my friend.
I
told him all about you. I think you guys hit it off.
So please, if you guys can ask Mr. Trump, hey, dude, sir,
dude, need your help?
Looking at this for me? Hegseth, he's a monster. I love that dude, man. He should lobby for that, dude. I bet he could make something happen, bro.
Yeah, he's the Department of War.
Tread.
Yeah.
Yo, I like the way that dude operates, man. He is rad.
Daddy Hegseth, and we need you to take a look at something.
Right?
Yeah. Dude, that would dude, just that alone, being able to remove that from your list of worries, like your mental health would be through the roof. You would be on cloud 9.
And I'll be honest with you right now, I wouldn't know the first place to go if I needed to walk back into a Grippy Sock motel. I'd be on Google like, where's help or something.
That's why you got me. We got plenty of options. Locally, we have Emerald Coast, Inpatient, and of course my favorite, The one that I always refer people is Laurel Ridge, Mission Resilience at
Ridge,
Laurel Ridge.
you pump them. You
Oh
pump
yeah,
them a lot.
yeah.
Yes, sir. They are
Always,
outstanding.
always. They're I shouldn't give these people fucking free advertising, but they're cheap. They're cheap when it
Shameless
comes.
plug, bro.
They
That's
are
what it is.
cheap when it comes. Dude, I will throw this out there because fuck them. Now you should go there if you need help. You should go there, but I will throw them under the bus for this. They were looking for somebody to come do a speaking engagement, and they thought I would do it for free, and because somebody else rejected the offer, they're like, like you're not gonna pay for flights, you're not gonna pay for at least pay for flight. If you want somebody to do a speaking event for you, at least cover their travel, at the very least. So
yeah, even if you don't pay them.
Yeah, you don't have to pay me. At least pay for the air travel. Yeah, at least do that. But here's what happened: they reached out to somebody else first, and that person had a fee. Like they absolutely had a booking fee, air travel, and lodging.
Right.
I don't have that. I only have, hey, if you're a nonprofit, travel, and I'll negotiate. Like that's a bare minimum. Like if you're gonna pay, here's my rate. If you're not gonna pay, you are at least gonna pay for travel. Because I'm having to pause everything. And I'm not going to say his name, the guy's name, but he's like, oh, you're a Green Beret. I'm a Green Beret. Like, you want to come do our speaking event? And I'm like,
oh, sorry.
Absolutely, man. And I let him know, I will do you a solid. Just pay for my travel. I'll go in, I'll speak, come right out. I won't need a hotel room. So we won't worry about that. And he's like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And I'm like, days coming closer. And I'm like, finally, I reach back out. Rodney, we'll throw that motherfucker under the bus. And I call them, and they're like, oh, man, yeah, we were kind of hoping that you kind of do it for free. And I'm like, for 7 seasons, wow. I have advocated for you. I have promoted you. I have gotten some of my closest friends, some of the best people that I know that reached out for help, and I have sent them to him because I believe in your program. I don't believe in you per se, Rodney, or the other guy, because it's such a shitty thing to do. You get 7 seasons of free promotion, website placement, the episode description placement, blog posts written about you, and you reach out to me to do a public speaking event, and you don't even offer to fucking do a flight.
That's poor form is what I think, dude. Yeah, I mean.
And what it is, it's one of those things where you have to remember, like, I respect and I honor the mission, and I will promote because I think the program is world class. The doctors there are remarkable. But if you don't promote yourself, because I didn't know anything about Laurel Ridge until I was in crisis. If I would have known Laurel Ridge was an option that I could have just asked for, holy fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
Right. Immediately, if I would have known that's where the Green Berets go or Navy SEALs go or Rangers go, I would have said, fuck yeah. I'm not alone. There's people like me already going to a place like this. Let's go. But there's no media. There's nobody out there. They don't do anything. They don't do their own podcast. And maybe it's by design. Maybe it's by purpose. But when somebody's willing to do something for you for free for several years, the least you could do is not blow smoke up their ass. And that's what really irritated me. They blew smoke up my ass. They didn't say straight up like, hey, we can't cover travel. Maybe I would have done it. But I'm over this thing where it's like, I can be a good person and still call you out and say you're fucked up for that. And I can still believe in your program, and I can still say you should go there.
Yeah, of course. That's
100%.
Being an adult.
Absolutely.
Or a business owner or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll never do anything for you, but I will continue to advocate on your behalf. So if you're in crisis and you want to go to a good place,
look at that. What a plug.
Mission Resilience. Nice. Yeah. But I
believe in asking for help, which I never did. And I'll tell you what, here, let me tie another thing back into this dude that I alluded to his name that people could research if they would like. But he is actually also the dude who got me to go seek help for my first time. He is a fellow gunner, as I said before, and he had talked to me a couple times, I think after a trip or two, and kind of got to know the dude a little bit. was kind of intimidated by him a little bit because he was a legacy kind of dude, like,
Yeah.
or he was in the program before I was, and he was already whatever level. And I think I was just older because I cross trained, for
Yeah.
like 9.5, 10 years. So, and then made e-citizen, never ever anything else again.
That's okay.
But I stayed operational though. See, I didn't have
Yeah.
to do any of that bullshit. I say that, hey, I say that to all the people in the background going like, but you missed out on so much money. No shit. No shit. Okay. I also had a
Skate.
degree for my 10-year mark where I should have been to OTS. Guess what I did? Nah. Guess what? Who cares? I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's something to be said about finding your place, enjoying it, and if you're passionate, you're in love with it. Fuck, man. Like, there's a reason why in the army we had like E4 used to be a technical like E6, or not E6. Yeah, specialist 4, 5, 6. Like, it was a
yeah,
technical rank. We got rid of that, and guys, dude, some dudes don't want to promote. Some dudes don't want to move up
yeah,
and do administration shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, I felt that way towards the end of my first career, which I don't regret at all. I learned so much. It was an air logistics job. I
yeah.
loaded airplanes, and I fortunately got attached. I got attached to you guys, like every other dipshit fucking big blue. Let me say it, noner fucking says, right?
Oh,
Fucking anyway. And I was fortunate enough to like go out there and learn a lot because I would go be your hazmat dude, your air guy
yeah.
who would fucking rope up your Humvees and shit so they could get on a 130 because all they needed was paperwork that looked like it was supposed to be legit. So they would find a guy like me, right? Some degenerate guy who's out there driving a forklift with no cab on it and
Yeah,
something over it, in Kandahar in '05 type thing. And I started learning what you guys actually did, and that got me super interested. So then, yeah, that's when I started to decide I'm gonna cross train into this shit.
yeah,
And I don't regret a single thing about that job. I just thought it was time to go because I felt like it was going instead of career progression, as everything kept being told to me, right? It was like career dictation,
yeah,
and I was like, dude, I already have to do a lot of shit I don't want to do, and there are things I can still kind of control. So, fortunately, also, whatever reason, I was in the path where there was a guy in leadership who was pretty prominent um, in the Air Force, the chief, and a friend of mine and I were good friends with this guy on a professional level, mentoring type shit. Like we go to his office for mentoring sessions and stuff like that. And this dude was legit, man, as far as it goes. And he could teach you how to really find yourself as far as motivation and loving your career. And not just like blowing that big blue up your ass type stuff.
yeah.
So he was in a position where he could help me cross train, and I took that opportunity at my 10-year mark to change it
Fuck
up.
yeah,
So I wouldn't regret none of that shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because that career dictation would have had me sour as shit, not liking it. Maybe I would have got out.
yeah.
Instead, I got to go get in an airplane, and fly around condos and fucking Farah and Shindan and Solaire and blah blah blah,
Fuck
all
yeah,
kinds of every other
yeah.
KBL fucking takeover.
I miss those shitty areas of Afghanistan.
And and the shitty markets.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. I'd like to think that someday it'll be completely different. Maybe there'll be an uprising and they'll get Taliban out of control, but who knows, man.
yeah.
But it was an adventure, though. Got to have an adventure of a
I,
lifetime.
I
Uh,
mean, that WW Enduring Freedom bit, man.
yeah.
Oh, I
Who would have
say
thought
that
it was
shit,
just a racket?
bro.
Who
My
would have
fucking
thought?
kids give me so much shit. They're like, "Hey, old man, how was WW Enduring Freedom and blah blah blah," or
Oh, those
"What's that G?
assholes. Those
What's that
assholes.
G1 all about?" And but it's pretty
Maybe.
funny though. Like a lot recently, the kids have kind of been interested in some of my medals and shit, stuff
Oh,
that I
nice.
packed away, right? So the air med, all the citations I mean.
Yeah.
So, when you're down there and you have to write medals for things, we had air
Yeah.
medals, right? You have to write commendation or whatever the fucking air medal is.
Yeah.
It's for however many missions. In combat, you get to reduce it, and you file out this thing and you write this expose of whatever these 20 missions endured, right? So I learned after I think I did my first 4 of them, I was like, dude, these are, I was still on that fucking, this is so dope, you know? Write what I did, and some dude that I didn't know signs off on it. Now, granted, I mean, I filled those numbers up pretty quick. Like
Yeah.
we were hacking the mish, dude, back then, right? So I could easily knock out 20 mishes in the first fucking quarter of my
Yeah.
deployment, you know? And so I I learned later on from some fucking stubborn guy, some gray balls guy. So hopefully he watches this and he knows what I'm talking about. Gray Bush, that's what I call him, Gray Bush. He told me, he's like, dog, write those for your kids, man. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, write those air medals so your kids will understand. And it didn't really make sense. And I was like, what the fuck does he mean, dude? And I asked him again, and he told me again, hey, dumbass, fucking write it for your fucking kids. Like you would on read it if your dad did it. Like made me feel like an asshole, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I got you, dude. I got you. So that's what I started doing. And I think I got 2 of them out that I thought I narrated kind of cool, you know, and then someone else showed me that they were doing the same kind of thing. I was like, oh, this is like a club. I didn't know this thing. I didn't know this is what we fucking did, bro. You know. So this guy's like, dude, this is what you got to do. You got to fucking disguise your mission. What? He's like, if you got something that's fucking crazy and you can talk about it maybe throughout the years, but then one day they fucking could put the dots together, right? So this is what this guy tells me. So I start putting this into my fucking my novelty of scripture of whatever you want to call it in my air medals, right? And you know, we had a mission, um, and it was pretty prominent, and we had a mission 2 nights prior that was almost as prominent, just not as exploited, exploited, exploited. And I recently got to kind of connect the dots for those 2 missions for the boys, and this is probably a good 6, 7 years since they really realized what those missions were, which
Yeah.
happened back in 15,
Yeah.
you know. So then, you know, and I still have brass from some of the missions I've
Oh,
already
no
had to
shit.
share. Oh yeah.
Damn.
So, you know, we didn't really get to take a whole lot at the end. You know, they kind of screwed us on taking brass or giving brass away.
Yeah.
But downrange, you kind of send them home on the tail swaps. So I always made sure if I had something crazy or something stupid that I could joke with the boys one day, I
Yeah.
put a little note in that brass, tape it up, put a mark on it, and then stored it up. So I did that over time, and then all the air metal, I sleeved them up as painful as I was like, "Oh, why am I doing this? It's so dumb. I fucking hate me, you know, whatever, right? And so, you know, I'm out here and my youngest, and he's talking to me about the Condi shoot when we shot the
Yeah.
hospital, right? And he's like, hey dad, what do you have a medal for that one? And I was like, well, they really didn't want to give us anything for that one. They were super pissed.
Yeah.
Oh man, they grounded us and all that, you know.
Yeah.
But
That's
there was
gotta get you to come back so we can dive deep into that one, because that's a sore spot for a lot of guys in the community, because it was a
yeah,
bullshit. It's one of those things where like the truth got concealed and hidden to like years later, and everybody on the ground knew what the fuck was going
dude,
on.
they fucked
But Obama and that administration fucked our dudes, dicked us down,
on
and then
TV,
on
bro.
TV, and then like they always do, the truth finally comes out, but it's pushed out underneath, and you know it never makes the airways as much.
It doesn't like, and it's redacted as shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. I could do some homework if you'd like, but it got redacted down from, I don't know, 3,000 pages to 800 pages or something like that, you know? And I was like, what? You know, and I
yeah.
had gone through a ton of 1511s or whatever when we get our hands slapped for doing something stupid downrange. And they're like, hey, Hammer, you guys need to fucking drop, dude. You guys are you got a phone call when you get home,
Yeah.
Um, and we could talk about those some other time. That'd be fun to
Yeah.
just kind of get your take on when you were there and I was there.
Fuck yeah.
But especially with the condo shoot, if you'd like to explore some things, so I'd love
Yeah,
to
man.
hear some of the aspects of anything you might know,
Yeah.
you know, from those guys. Because I know that ground force commander, you got fucking pile drive, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's like our
It's
pilot got free guilty,
yeah.
but
It's fucked, man. We have this idea that our guys are going to have our back. Like our commanders are going to have our back. They're going to always protect us. They're going to do everything in our best interest. But then
yeah,
when you see it play out completely opposite, you realize like, fuck, we're just a fucking tool. We're just a pawn in this fucking game. And
oh, geez,
whichever way it
100%,
makes you look better, that's the way it's going to play out. We've seen it play out countless times now. We saw it play out with Eddie Gallagher. We've seen it play out
uh-huh.
within our own community and special forces. The most egregious one, the one that really, really bit a lot of guys in the ass was a Niger ambush. That's a one that was just kind of like, it took over a year to get the truth out, and then they were still trying to pin it onto the team. And then again, it's another one where you realize like, fuck, dude, like these guys will look after their career before they
Yep,
take care of the boys.
yep.
But we gotta dive into that another time. Before I let you go, brother, tell us about Hammer 41 Leatherworks.
Dude, Hammer 41 Leatherworks. It's been a pretty wild ride, dude. Um, it started as a bet. Someone bet me I couldn't make some patches, and fast forward, I'm putting patches on hats that are on CNN and shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's been pretty cool. It's been a really really therapeutic, obviously. And the whole artesian aspect of it all.
Yeah.
It's some fucking just super dope customers, man. Jeff from Subsecond, dude. That dude's been around since the beginning. He actually was Thaddeus' first sponsor for TCC shooting,
Nice.
TCC stuff. Yeah, he created this belt that, dude, it was so dope. Check that shit out. Shameless plug, Subsecond belt, dude. Top notch. And then, through him, I've met a few other rad people, guerrilla warfare and, um, God, geez, art, dude. Like
Yeah.
those dudes right there. I mean, what a blessing to be a part of that community, man. Those guys are rad. Art protection, man.
Yeah.
If you don't know about them, Hammer 41, I try to repost for them. Otherwise, go look them up. They do just some cool stuff for the guys that mean business. You know what I mean? That we want.
Fuck yeah.
So that's pretty rad. But anyway, Hammer 41, we're out there trying to push stuff.
And
I
where can
should
we
be up
go
and
to get some of
running
your
by
good
the end of this
stuff?
week.
Oh, okay. So you're still in the moving in period.
Yep. I'm actually I moved my shop location, so getting reset up right now. I'm online, back online as far as my machines go. I just need to tune everything up, and then I'm finishing an order right now that I actually had to split during this move, and then I got a couple people waiting, and I'd love to get back in and learn some more, man. I actually had guerrilla warfare had me down, had a couple of my hats on the podcast down south,
Hell yeah,
yeah. So,
dude.
props to those dudes, man. I watched that. That one kicks fast too.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
need to
you have to put the
get you
correct name
the
on there for me.
get you to do some hats for us. We can put them out there, man.
Do it. Yeah, all day, man. Just give me some numbers, man. I'll send them over to you.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
we'll do some demos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just giant cock with wings, just
Bro, that's what I put on all my
spitting
signatures.
fire.
Yeah. All right, so you're gonna have to create the image for me, unless you got another guy out there. Send me an SVG, okay? And hammer41 leatherworks at gmail.com. But you can hit us up at Instagram. That's where most of my debauchery has been,
Oh
and you
yeah,
can see the progression of my artwork and stuff. I have
fucking a.
I'm not a graphic designer by any means, so I get a lot of my artwork directly from the customer, or I have a graphic designer that I trust and
Fuck yeah,
create some banger work. So I've done a lot of work for Seventh Group over here, man. Probably 5 or 6 of their teams, dude. I've done
fuck
a
yeah,
bunch of their
dude.
shit, and I love doing it, man, because they're just rad dudes.
Yeah,
And I've never had a single problem with any of them cats, man. And dude, they paid fucking instantly. So all this, anything that people have heard about any of that kind of shit, I'm sorry that happened to you, but them dudes treat me right.
Yeah.
They pay their shit on time, and I do a banger product for them dudes. So
Yeah. No,
I appreciate
your
that.
shit's amazing, man. Like I said, I've been seeing it everywhere. The art guys fucking repping that shit all over. You seen
Yeah,
them because
yeah,
they're doing they're protecting some of our greatest leaders right now, and it's dude, it's prime
yeah.
advertising real estate.
And you know when he even does, dude, he'll do his roll call of like his tack here and his loadouts and stuff, and
Yeah,
there it is, dude. Puts my lid right on that, man. I'm
yeah,
like. But he
fuck
like
yeah,
he gets a he wanted like a certain hat and a certain style, and you know we went back and forth on what leather he liked and this and that, and we just came up with this product that he loved, and I just love creating because I cut out whenever he puts an order in, man. I cut out some time and I really get into it because
yeah,
I enjoy that kind of work for that kind of customer. Same thing with Jeff from Sub Second, man. That dude, he likes doing one-off sets, which has been really crazy too, because I got words from like some of the other customers, which I know from the community and such.
yeah,
Um, or I'll be at a bar and I'll see one of my hats around there, and they're becoming collectible.
yeah.
When Jeff does his one-off paint job ones, these dudes are collecting them and shit. So they're trying to get the drop on me, like, yo, what's the next one coming out? And I'm like, bro, I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? So
Hell yeah,
sometimes he's like, dude, I want it looking like this, and then he'll put it out with like one of his rad ass belts, or he'll be like, dude, leash is off, man, and then he
oh yeah,
lets me just, and I used to just, I just get tuned up and
yeah, dude,
just
yeah.
do some goodness.
I need a good season 7. I finally like my logo. It's funny, man. I was outsourcing that shit to everybody. I was like, please, I need you to make this, need to make that, find it. And dude, great art, great work, cost a lot of fucking money. A lot of fucking
Hey,
money. And you have to
hey,
respect
pay
that.
for what you have
You
to.
gotta
Same
respect
thing
it.
with digitizing files, man. If you're trying to get, because I do embroidery now too.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, if you have a bullshit embroidery design, it doesn't matter how badass your machine is. 'Cause
Yeah.
I got like a Bentley of fucking machines,
Yeah.
and I'll get some shitty ass artwork, but it looks good on paper.
Yeah.
But then the discounts or however, because you know when you do those kind of embroidery ones, it's a different type of file. You know, it's got
Yeah.
like commands and shit in there.
Yep.
So if they footnote, if you're out there trying to get embroidery done from other people, spend the money and get that shit digitized correctly. Make it
Absolutely.
easier because I tell you what, that's less what do I want to say? Like damaged goods,
Yeah. Yeah.
like screw ups, right? Less screw ups I have. And
Yep.
I usually end up if I only have like one test one that I have to do from a design and I have set aside three, I'll give them the other two, you know, for
Yeah.
free. I throw them in the box or I do something crazy for them, you know, or throw
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
logo on it or something. And it's not uncommon. You know, I do hats for a company out in Gatlinburg called Smoky Mountain Tactical. And that dude's been around. He's been there with me from the beginning
That's
also. And he
badass,
puts
dude.
in the order, dude. He puts in a nice order, like, you know, when he needs to, man. And he sells other types and other brands, other leathers. You know, he does it too. And I'm still in there. And like he's knocking right now. He's like, bro, I'm ready for another
Yeah.
set. And it's like customers like that, man. He was an army dude too, you know.
Yeah.
Check him out, dude, down in Gatlinburg. If you're on the main drag down there, Smoky Mountain Tactical. He's in this like that old the mall that looks like it's from the 80s and shit, like third level. Dude,
That's
dude,
badass, man.
super rad star, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, Merrill, I can't thank you enough for being here today, man.
Brother.
Got to run it back. I'm gone this weekend for the Special Forces Foundation's gala, but I'll be back that following week. Got to get you back on the books. But man, it's a pleasure having you, brother. It's truly an honor to see you grow and seeing Hammer 41 fucking kicking ass, man. Because again,
Yeah, dude.
like of the boys for the boys. If you haven't checked
Right.
out Hammer 41 Leatherworks, please pause the episode right now. Go check him out. Put it in order. Make Merrill work his dick off. He will. A man works his ass off and he makes good shit. So check him out.
I appreciate that.
And I'm going to bug you one last time. I was gracious and kind enough not to say shit about this at the beginning of the episode.
Oh no.
Now
Oh
I'm
no.
asking you, just take 5 fucking seconds, go to the episode description, pause, fucking give us a 5-star review, drop a couple words in there saying, yeah, dude, Denny's fucking nice. I like the episode. Or just say, fuck him. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It'll help the fucking
Yeah.
algorithm. But I really appreciate if you guys could do that. Subscribe, all that jazz. Like, share this episode. Head on into the comments because it helps the whole algorithm. And just, drop a fucking emoji. Put a fucking eggplant. Fucking whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. But help us grow.
Or a topic for us to talk about next time. We'll do that.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about what you intend, but then we'll say, okay, sidebar real quick. We're going to acknowledge something here. Why is he in a Jetta during your interview?
Because it's got great acoustics.
Oh, yeah,
man. Thank you all for tuning in.
Dude, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And it's great to reconnect with you, brother, and see that
absolutely,
you're doing so
man.
well. I love watching your cast, man. You do a lot for the community, man.
Man, I'm trying to do one episode at a time, one poop and cum joke at a time. I'm here for you guys. If you need help, please reach out. And again, if you were looking for an inpatient treatment center, check out Laurel Ridge Mission Resilience. It's one of the best places. It saved my life. And don't be scared. Be willing to go into the unknown and get better. You deserve it. We need you around because our country needs our veterans. Like there's only so many of us around, guys. You have to think about it. And the world's going to be better with you in it, not without you. So if nobody's in your corner today, know that Merrill and I are in that corner. Just reach out. You're not alone.
Yeah. The mid-40s retiree bum corner. I'm out. Such a schmuck, dude. It's a good thing I'm a good dad. Fuck.
Oh, my God.
I got going for me.
Hey, you're a great dad. And I'm trying to learn from all you guys.
All fucked up, dude.
Hey, at least you don't have a fucking high tight. At least you don't have it high tight. That's
man, I didn't have hair. Hey, you didn't see me with hair. Dude, I never had hair from when I was 18 to 41, man. So I retired not that I'm having a fucking mohawk.
Dude, yeah, you can't grow. You can't shave that. You'll look way too Aryan. I'm Deny Caballero, and it's been a pleasure.
I'm 45, though. It's okay.
For you. See you next time. Till then, take care.
Adios.